You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
In uncertain times, we could use someone to lean on. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma will stand by you with plan options to fit your budget. If you've recently lost your job, had a baby, or moved, you can still get the healthcare coverage you and your family need. Financial help may be available for those who qualify. Call 855-452-BLUE or visit hereforyouok.com to see if you're eligible to enroll. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, a division of Healthcare Service Corporation, a mutual legal reserve company.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of The Cocktail Lounge. I am your hostess with the mostest, Aggie, and with me as always is the ever suave, affable, unquaffable Brad Slager. How are you doing this evening, Brad?
Doing very well. How about yourself? Are you celebrating Body Positive Tuesday appropriately?
I plan to. I have a really good menu, the last of the lemon cake to go. I've been eating chocolates like there's no tomorrow, because for me, there is no tomorrow when it comes to sweets. as y'all know.
Yeah, if anybody's unaware, for Lent, Aggie goes completely off the deep end in bat crap manner, gives up pretty much anything in life that has substance, enjoyment, or flavor.
I know. I do go overboard. Even my mom has issues with what I do for Lent, but for me, it's not just a question of my faith, and it's not just a question of observing, what Catholics do at Lent. It's also a question of my willpower. I am so devoted to making sure that my willpower is there that I don't even observe Sundays are exempt from Lent. I don't exempt them. I do not. I stick to it.
Well, yeah, it seems like cheating, actually.
I don't want to say that it seems like cheating, but it's in a way, because you are observing the Lord's Day. It's kind of an exemption.
Yeah, I know, but it's
suppose,
like you're doing Lent to observe the Lord, and then it's almost like a double negative. Is that the way it works? I'm observing him twice, so I don't have to observe him the other way, and now I can stuff my face on Sunday. Somehow.
Well, and it's funny because a good friend of mine is very thrilled. He is now 59, so he does not have to observe the fasting. Fasting is not required at that age and past it. So my mom actually does still fast, even though she's 78.
I wasn't aware that there was an age limit on that kind of thing.
Yeah, there is actually. There is. The only
how was
thing
that
you have
determined then?
I do not recall.
Like, what
But
is the
I do
biblical
know that
rationale that says at 59 it's a cutoff?
I do know that at the age of 14 you start observing no meat Fridays, and that's until you die. That's forever. So there's no exemption for that. But for fasting, there is an exemption at the age of 59. And my guess is that, for the infirm and elderly, they figured that was a good age to quit the fasting, so that you don't have to do that in your later years.
So you don't break.
I guess. Mine not to reason why, mine but to do and die.
Yeah, so after tonight, Aggie will be entering her rice cake portion of the holiday.
I do not eat rice cakes either. I find them.
How are those off the list? Come on.
They're because they taste awful.
Well,
So-
yeah, but
So I
everything
don't.
that you get rid of this time of year tastes good. So I'm just like, what do you do?
You
Chew
know-
on beer coasters?
No, water crackers are okay.
Because that's a huge difference.
Well, yeah. I concentrate more on the fruits and the vegetables, leaner meats, and in smaller portions. And most of the stuff that I do eat, it's still healthy. I just don't eat the unhealthy stuff. Stuff that brings joy.
I'm trying not to be, sacrilegious and all that, but at the same time, I just have rampant curiosity about all these religious restrictions on food, because like kosher salt always drives me bat crap crazy. Like, am I using hedonistic salt, sinful salt? I don't understand. What makes salt kosher as opposed to a different
It is,
spice?
believe it or not, kosher is not it's a method. Okay. It's not necessarily that it's healthier for you. It's just the method by which it is derived. Like a kosher chicken is completely different because of the
I know,
method
and
that
there's
it's got.
killing methods and stuff, but are you scraping salt off of a rock differently?
I don't know.
Well, you
But-
didn't bless the
but you-
knife, so I'm not going to use that. I mean, but
Yeah. I've never understood why you have to use several different types of salt for a dish, or why they say, oh, use pink Himalayan salt. It makes all the difference. No, the reason it's pink, it has iron in it. The reason it makes a difference is that a lot of people would not get enough iron. So the pink salt was better for their diet. It's not because it enhances the flavor differently. It may, due to the iron content, but it was for the same reason the pot liquor was usually the healthiest person in the family. The person that got the remains from an iron pot usually was healthier. And nobody could figure that out. It's because of the iron leaching into the food.
Well, I just
So,
love that they're making lamps out of blocks of pink Himalayan salt.
yeah, I got one.
Well,
Yeah.
because it emanates throughout the home, and then it's no, it doesn't. It's salt.
No, I got it because it was pink and it matches
Yeah.
the thing. That was it. There's no ionization stuff that I'm
Because what
subscribed
it does
to.
is imbues the room with this other shut up. No, it doesn't.
No, it's just a pretty nightlight. It's just nicer because it's pink. The light is more diffused and it is softer, and that's why I bought it. I mean,
Yeah, I've
it
also
had
thought
nothing
too,
to do with the ionization, whatever.
what would like say a devout Orthodox Jew have in front of him if he was like in a survival situation? Plane crashes in the Himalayas or something. He has to come back down and survive for a couple of weeks. How does he become observant when he's hunting and gathering for whatever it takes to survive?
Well,
Well, these blueberries aren't kosher.
Brad. Yes, the blueberries are kosher. If he's picking them right off of the bush, they're kosher.
That's the way it works? Okay.
Like I said, kosher is the method of preparation, not whether or not it's healthy.
They can't be
or
hydroponic blueberries, but if you eat them in the wild, that is okay.
oh, whatever. I am not an expert on Jewish food.
That's what I'm
I just
saying.
know
It's
that I
like
like food. I like Jewish food though. I love it.
But yeah, we are on Fat Tuesday, so it's
Yes.
a day of revelry, or as they call it in New Orleans, the night of pissing in the street.
Yeah, I am not.
Tomorrow morning is not a place you want to be, is the French Quarter for sure. Because when that sun rises on the road
And it bakes that
that lovely aroma of urine and vomit starts to just rise up into your nostrils. Yeah, there's something you just don't want to be a part of. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
That might be what brings you closer to the Lord, because people just walk around all morning going, "Oh God, oh God, oh God." Yeah.
No lie detected. A lot of conversions happen
Yeah.
on Ash Wednesday.
I haven't been there for Fat Tuesday, but I have been to the French Quarter for extended periods of time. And yeah, the morning atmosphere is a significant difference than the nighttime. So
I've only been to New Orleans once, and it was, I think, my freshman year, and a group of us from our dorm drove down, stayed a couple of hours, and drove back. It was, it's a 6-hour drive. And we all had classes the following morning. So it was, I went to say that I've done it, but honestly, I did not enjoy myself. I thought it was just too busy, I didn't care for it. Now, I do want to attend Mardi Gras in Mobile, Alabama, which is the birthplace of Mardi Gras.
I was going to say, that's the actual.
Yeah, that's, I mean, New Orleans gets all the fame, but all the glory actually belongs to Mobile. So I'd like to attend that once before I die. That's actually on my list of things to do before I die. So
Go.
Maybe next year. I don't know.
Bucket list submitted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But with my luck, I'll stay in my hotel room, look at it from my window, and that'd be good. I don't have to be in it. I just have to look at it. I'll be okay.
So you're not going to collect beads?
I am not I don't. I couldn't. I just can't.
I was very eager to hear this answer from you.
I just can't do that. Although, when I went with my girlfriends, three of them did. I was completely floored. And back then, this was Mardi Gras of '86. So it was my freshman year. And I had no idea that women did that for a specific set of pearls, the pearls, the white ones, the big ones. And so back then, there weren't a lot of those to go around. Now they're like, they just throw them, regardless. And women just do it, for, because they can. Mm-hmm. But back then it was a requirement that you show them before you got those. And they came back with 2 strands of each for each. One of them said, "You want one?" And I looked at her, "No, because people will ask and I don't want to." That's okay.
But see, that would have gotten you off the hook for the rest of the trip then, because everybody says, like, I already earned mine, so I'm good, and you're done.
No. Never. No, I'm too old for that. But I do want to pretend. It sounds like a really, really ornate party down in Mobile, and from my understanding, it's different from what happens in New Orleans. So,
well, I'm sure of that too, but like, I don't know, do they do the cruise and all that?
I believe they do.
Yeah,
I believe they do. But like
I've even tried researching it a little bit, and I still don't grasp the entirety of it all. It's like, oh no, you're part of the crew, and I was like, okay, what's a crew? Well, a crew is a bunch of people that get together to form a crew.
Okay, you're defining it with the word.
All right. So, club, is that what you're saying?
I just love when they use the actual word to define the word. To me, that's just okay. So you really don't know.
It's like, is there a significant? How do you make a crew? It's like, oh, well, crews get together. Okay, got it. So it's just an excuse to have a bunch of people party. Got it. That's my takeaway from it. Well, it's more involved than that. You got all these costumes you dress up in and stuff. It's like, based on what? Well, based on your crew. It's like, not helping. No wonder people are drinking. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just something to look forward to in my old age, I suppose.
There you go.
One day.
It's good to have goals.
Yeah. I might, G and Rex, I believe, are in that area. So maybe we could or at least they could tell me what to look for, where to stay, and why it's different. I have absolutely no clue.
And serve as your bodyguard.
I could only hope.
That seems to be the best way to go about
it. Yeah, that would be like primo for me.
Okay.
So, yeah. So speaking of revelry, the Swifter Bowl was on this past Sunday.
We had our national holiday on Sunday, didn't we? I was at least fortunate enough to go to a party, pretty big party with a bunch of people I knew. So I didn't really, we all watched the game. I wasn't like focused in on it though. I couldn't even, I saw them. Christian McCaffrey scored a touchdown. Anybody else had field goal, guy missed something. It's about it. And
yeah, it was a really low. I mean, it was scoreless the first quarter, and at the end of the second quarter, it was 10-3 in favor of San Francisco, I think. So it was. It
looked like San Francisco was controlling things in the first half, and then Kansas City started to figure some things out, I guess, and then they tied it in overtime, and yay. The biggest thing was at our party, every time they showed Taylor Swift, we just drank. They had like 2 bars going in this place. Everybody brought their own beer, of course, and it's just like, it's Swifty, drink. Brum, 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 there you go. And that was pretty much it. It was, crap ton of food. I think every single person brought something significant.
Oh, nice.
They had a dining room table that had to have, I understand these are the people that own our tavern. So we had 4 steam trays of chicken wings, 4 or 5 different pasta dishes, 5 crock pots going with different meats in them. Another table over on the side was just loaded with nothing but desserts. I mean, it was just stupid how much food there was. And it was great. Great selection, great drinks. Our host, Mike, was making smoked old fashions with orange peel flavored bourbon that he had found.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, usually I linger around the kitchen because that's where the ice and other stuff is at that you really need. And then I saw the bottle sitting on the counter. And I was like, that's when I sent you a picture of it. I was like, damn, that's compelling. Like, so Mike, what's the story with this? He's like, oh, dude, stick around because I'm making stuff up. Well, he has a smoking kit for cocktails. So he lines all the glasses up, and this is basically, it's a lid put on the glass that's got a small, almost like a wood shot glass.
Like a well.
Yeah. And he had a variety of different wood chips. He went with maple, used the torch. You watch the smoke descend down into the glass. It actually literally just looks like it's pouring into the ice and condiments. And then you toss in your requisite bourbon, which was this one. And damn. Yeah, that was quite potable. Quite lovely, I gotta say.
I bet it was. Yeah, I've done the smoker thing before. My sister, the one that lives near me, she has a set. She doesn't like using it.
Oh.
She doesn't like using it because she doesn't like smoked drinks. Her husband, however, likes to drink bourbon, and so she bought it for him. Well, guess what? He is not a fan of fancy things. I mean, no, I'll take that back. He's a big fan of fancy things as long as somebody else figures out how to do it.
Consuming
and then he'll do
them,
it.
but not creating them is a thing.
Well, yeah, because he's a little iffy. She's actually the bartender in the relationship, but she doesn't like using it. So he's like, well, let me use it. She's like, no, because it stings up the place. And I'm like, but it literally smoke. It's just wood. And so when I went over there, I showed him, it's really easy to do. I told him it's easier if you have a pipe lighter to use it with, or matches. But a big lighter can burn your thumb, so don't do that.
Well, that's where the kitchen torch comes perfect for it. Then you
kitchen
can
torch
direct
is
the
great.
flame, and
Exactly.
it's strong flame, and then it does the trick real quick.
And,
my whole thing with the smoking thing, though, is it's usually overdone.
That's why I don't like the kitchen torch, because it's like real strong, as opposed to using a match that does it slowly, and you can control how much smoke goes into the glass. That's why I like using
it's an interesting component, but it can dominate it too. Because my daughter got me the smoked maple to mix with the bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go real light with it. I'd probably use half a teaspoon at best. Because it's just, then, mix it with the bourbon, then you get just, like a little component. It's like, oh, there's that thing. Yeah, it comes in. Otherwise, it's just, that's all you taste.
No, it's true. I had an old fashioned at the local joint. There's only 2 local joints. But at one of them, I asked for the smoked one, and it came back, and I was like, I could barely taste the old fashioned itself. It was so overpowering with the smoke. And so, the next time that I had one, I removed the lid quickly and just blew out most of the smoke as fast as I could. And that made it more, I think it was more subtle. And that was a little better, which is why I told my brother-in-law, use, just burn a few chips, not a lot, and just do it slowly. And that way you can determine how much smoke you want in your bourbon. And so he uses it now, but my sister's like, why did you teach him? And I'm like, because you literally gave him that gift for Father's Day one year, and he never used it. She's like, but now it stinks everything. I was like, it's only the smell of wood. You like a fireplace. You literally have 2 fireplaces in your house and you light them up. I don't understand what the difference is. She's like, yeah, I know. It's just, I'm weird. I'm like, okay. She has OCD issues, and I think that triggers some of it.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, at our bash, we had plenty of distractions that I didn't have to focus entirely on the game, and pretty much the assessment throughout the game was, man, these commercials suck.
Yeah. I gotta say, I was kind of disappointed in most of the commercials this year. There were some that were actually pretty good. And
Well, about the only ones that stood out to me was I kind of like the Chris Pratt Pringles one. That was kind of okay. I think mostly because he sold it.
Yes.
Because it was itself a great premise. But,
no, it was him. It was him.
I was kind of struck by did you see the Volkswagen EV commercial?
Let me tell you, there is a lot to unpack on that commercial. I was severely, first of all, the song was great, but it did not fit the commercial.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, what? Neil Diamond's I Am My Bride.
And the thing is, I love that song. I love Neil Diamond. I'm not even ever going to apologize for loving Neil Diamond. I love everything he's ever done. I've even watched The Jazz Singer, I don't know, up teen times. That should tell you something. I do like Neil Diamond. But that
song... You're supposed to sing at the church. What are you doing here in California?
Of all people, Sir Laurence Olivier. I mean, I was just like, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. Watching the whole thing. And it was weird because I did not know that was kind of a remake of The Jazz Singer, the one with Al Jolson. But they're completely not alike at all. Obviously, one was set in modern day times and everything. So anyway,
I hated it because son of a bitch doesn't sing jazz.
No, he doesn't. He does not.
He sings Neil Diamond or Jewish dirges in the church, or I'm sorry, synagogue. But that's
yes.
No jazz. So I got my money back. That's for damn sure.
Oh, for goodness sake. Anyway, but I like I said, I love Neil Diamond, but the song did not fit that commercial. And I find it really interesting that the commercial started with the genesis of the commercial started in the 50s. And
they were trying to show the history of Volkswagen.
And the history of Volkswagen
didn't quite go to
is
the
not
beginning
good.
Founding of Volkswagen.
Yeah, it does not have a good beginning to that, what I consider a very good car company.
So you guys started in the late 40s, 50s? No.
The whole thing was really good, but I had issues with one thing. The montage itself. Aside the fact that the song didn't fit it, the montage that they used was good, but there was one thing that jarred me. They showed a same-sex marriage coming out of a church. And I was like, well, wait, what? This,
of course,
had it been coming out of City Hall, or had it been outside, and with an officiant who's determined, you couldn't determine whether or not it was a preacher or a judge, that would have been fine. But the fact that it was coming out of a church, that was problematic to me. And I was like, okay, now they're doing something. Not only are they hiding their history, now they're pushing history. And I didn't like that. I really did not like that. And then, of course, I went to look up what their EV looks like, and I'm kind of glad they hid it from everybody because it's ugly as sin.
Well, that's the entire thing. This is a commercial. They're trying to sell their brand new vehicle, but you know what? We're not going to show it to you. Why huh? So like they did have like the dramatic at the end, facing it, and the headlights come on. You're like, ooh, and wait, that doesn't look right. And then the thing drives down the road, and you're like, what in the living hell am I looking at? It basically resembled a blue and white loaf of bread with wheels.
It just, I'm like, well, you were a good car company. What happened?
I mean, this thing was stupid looking. And, there's like a couple walking on the sidewalk, and she turns around and it's like, no, honey, go get your eyes checked because that thing is hideous. But that was a point of amusement, I will say. I think probably the accepted winner was the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Hands down, that
Seems to be like
for
it
me the
didn't
best.
bowl everybody over, but it's like as far as top ratings, that would be the one. So he comes in, his wife J-Lo, number 4, I
She's
think.
sitting there.
She's in a
like,
recording
oh,
studio going through a session of sorts, and then the doors burst open, and here comes Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, friends,
Tom Brady, don't forget.
dressed up in head to toe street gear in the Dunkin' Donuts colors of orange and fuchsia.
Tracksuits, the tracksuits.
Wearing pink sunglasses.
The chains.
Yo, we're the Dunk Kings.
Dunk Kings.
and like the premise itself really wasn't that good, but him and Affleck and J-Lo sold it. Just their performances alone, right? Because he's sitting there just goofballing it up, and then Matt Damon could not be more ashamed of what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like, the things I do for our friendship.
Yeah. They cut to him at one point, and he does his line from their first movie. I'm forgetting the film.
Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting, yeah. And he's like, "Hey, so what do you think about them donuts, guy?" I'm just sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I am so sorry.
It was. I think that the way that Ben Affleck does the spoofing for these commercials, I think that's what everybody loves about it, is that he doesn't take himself too seriously anymore. He used to.
No. Well, he's also he's done a number of commercials since last Super Bowl when he and J-Lo did the first one, but he's playing like a hardcore Boston Southie guy.
Oh yeah,
because Dunks is huge in Boston.
Boston. Mm-hmm.
So he's like, he's just playing that side up as comfortably as can be. And I think the only funnier aspect, Saturday Night Live did one with Casey Affleck. They did a Dunkin' Donuts parody commercial with true Boston guys. And he comes in and says, "Hey, my fucking coffee, huh? Hey, retard, get out of line. I was here first. What the?" It's like Dunkin' Donuts, the coffee you can throw on other people's cars. Get out my parking spot.
Oh man, I've only been to Boston once, but let me tell you, that was the most popular cup that I saw. No, second most popular cup. A travel cup that I saw was the Dunkin' Donuts. The most popular one, believe it or not, was Obama, because this was the year he was running. It was 2008.
Yeah, well, okay.
But
of course, if you're in Massachusetts, it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, the weird thing was I never saw black people carrying the Obama cups. It was always white people. And I was not in an affluent area of Boston most of the time. I went everywhere in Boston, but yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, that was my favorite. The one that a lot of people feel was very controversial was the "He Gets Us" commercial, which a lot of people felt was bordering on blasphemy. Some people felt, no, it's just that we need to. What was the word that they used? We need to reform Christianity. And I'm like, no, Christianity doesn't need any reformation. The churches do, but Christianity itself does not. And so a lot of people had issues with it. I have my own personal issues with it, but some of the commercials that the He Gets Us campaign have put out have actually been pretty good. This one was trying to bring home the fact that we should love the sinner. But I think the message failed because they also transposed the sin. And so we should love the sinner, even if he sins, and accept the sin that he does. And I'm like, no. That's not what Christianity says at all.
Yeah, it's
whoa.
a little off the mark there.
You know, so
it
that
almost
was
struck me that
very
they were
clunky.
striving more, for the convert than they were for the,
Yes.
or I should say for the unconverted than for the converts, because those that are complaining about this are already in the camps, let's say. So,
So there, that was that. But however, the Stand with Israel one, which we've seen before, but they paid to actually show during the Super Bowl. That one was very impactful, and I was very happy to see that one. Some of the other ones were just like, why is this even here? I don't understand why is this commercial? The Bud Light Genie. I mean, what?
the most common refrain I heard was, they spent $7 million on that.
That? I know. It's like, I was like, why? Why did they do this?
I mean,
It was
the Baja Blast with the, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. Okay, we get it. And okay, there's Nick Offerman, Parks and Rec reunion. Got it. It was like supposed to be deeply impactful or something. It's like, miss.
Yeah.
So
the booking.com one with Tina Fey and Glenn Close doing the cameo at the end. That one was okay, but I'm like,
I kind of saw that, but I think I was walking back outside to go to my cooler to refill.
It was not that
so
great.
I was like, and then apartments.com was all over the place for some damn reason.
Yeah.
Are there that many homeless people watching the Super Bowl? I wasn't aware of it.
I will say the first time that apartments.com had an ad at the Super Bowl several years ago, and it was Jeff Goldblum. I was like, why is he even doing this? This is Jeff Goldblum. And now I see why he did it. Like, okay.
Is he like a part owner of the company?
No, but apparently it was like
I think David Levy was in 3 spots.
Yeah. No, he's just at the time his career was kind of stalling or something, and so he just decided, hey, why not? And it he had a resurgence, I suppose. Yeah, I used that word, resurgence. Haha, you see what I did there?
Oh, gotcha. But he seems to be like really leaning into this bizarro version of himself. It's like, oh yeah, apartments.com. You want to go there?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you doing? I don't want you as a neighbor. So I'm going to check that out first for sure.
Speaking of the version of itself, the Christopher Walken commercial. Either you loved it or you hated it. There was no meh about it.
That one I missed, I got to say.
Oh, no, this was great. Christopher Walken is literally doing, his errands, walking his dog, going to get coffee, whatever, getting in his car, and, getting his car from the valet. And everybody is greeting him doing a Walken impression. And I was just like, some of them are pretty good, actually. Not gonna lie. But I think it was for, I want to say it was BMW for their electric car or something like that. I don't know what it was, but you should check it out. I liked it. Some people were like, oh,
this is the other impact of these commercials. Like, if you don't recall what the brand was, that's a complete fail.
It is.
Because there was, I remember years ago.
To give me credit, I don't really pay attention to cars. Like, whatever.
No, but it was, I don't know, like 10, maybe 15 years ago. They did a Super Bowl commercial, and the premise was herding cats. And it was 2 cowboys, and it's, computer generated, of course. But you saw like thousands of cats on the prairie, and they were herding them together. It's like, yeah, it's herding cats. Oh, okay, we get it. It's the visual represent. No freaking idea what it was advertising. To this day, like, I can't recall what the commercial was for. And a lot of people the next day were even talking about it. It's like, oh, did you see the Herding Cats commercial? It's like, yeah, oh, Dad, that was kind of cool. What was that for?
No idea.
And I think the company's out of business now, too, because I even, for some reason, like years ago, when it came up, too, I was like, yeah, what was that for? And people looked it up. It was like, something called, blah, blah, blah. It's not even around anymore.
Wow.
So there you go.
sad.
The
think-
Super Bowl placement is not a guarantee for success.
It's not. And I think one of the biggest surprises for the ads that were placed was the Robert Kennedy ad. That, I mean, seriously, it was like the Spanish Inquisition. You did not expect that.
Well, that came, it's so funny. That came from a PAC, not from him.
No, not from
And
him.
his family got incensed about it. They were flaming him over it. And then he apologized to his family. He's like, look, it wasn't me. I didn't put it up. It was this PAC. I wasn't aware of it. I do apologize. And yet in his apology, he's linking to the commercial.
Yeah. He's not a dumb person.
It's like,
he is not a dumb person. And the
what
thing
you
is,
doing there?
it was a JFK ad, which is why the family was upset.
Right.
Because they took JFK out and put Robert Kennedy in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I don't know who came up with this, but this was sheer genius from a political standpoint. This was really from that point, it was a good idea. Was it tacky? Yes. Completely tacky.
Not in politics.
Exactly.
That
This
never
is politics.
happens.
You expect tackiness, But it was.
I mean,
very
that hits
effective.
all the marks though, because it's,
Yeah.
So you get his name out there, tied into the family. It's controversial. People are checking out. What's everybody talking about? And then they know.
Oh, I'm not even
Oh,
joking.
he's running.
My, I was in the sister chat because they were all talking football, and one of my sisters is in Germany, so she's like, "Man, I'm fighting to stay awake just to see the kickoff." But they ended up staying awake the whole night, and she ended up time to make breakfast, because it was overtime, and the overtime was she was about at the time that she gets up in the morning, so so she slept most of the day on Monday, after that. But we were all talking about it. But we didn't talk about any commercial except for the Robert Kennedy commercial. They were like, that was unexpected. I was like, yeah, it was. I said, I've seen that commercial before. It's like, they aired it. I said, no, you don't understand. I've seen that. We all saw that in history because we took the same history class in high school, the same teacher. Mm-hmm. It's like, y'all don't remember this, but this was one of the most effective TV ads, and it was for the JFK campaign. And one of the one that's in Germany, oh my God, it is! No wonder it looks familiar. It's like, yeah, we've seen this before. Because our teacher was very much into. She really did enjoy American history, but she liked all aspects of it. And one of the things that we were doing, we were comparing the elections of 1860 to the elections of 1960. And so we, saw the ads, the newspaper things, the stuff that they were saying about everybody and everything. So, and we talked about 20 minutes. We were talking about this ad for 20 minutes. We forgot to watch the damn football game because we were talking about the ad. So it got people talking. People were like, I can't believe he did this, or wow, I did not expect to see this during the Super Bowl, or who is Robert Kennedy and why haven't I seen him before? Or, ooh, the Biden administration is not going to like this. I saw a lot of that. So that was pretty interesting to me.
Say they hit the target.
Yeah, they really did. But
I guess the other big news out of the game was Travis Kelce having a complete freaking meltdown and attacking his head coach on the sideline.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the hell he's bitching about.
But here's the thing. It's not the first time he's done it. It's not the second time he's done it. It's not the third time he's done it. He's done this quite a few times. When he gets frustrated, he lashes out at people. For me, it's a serious concern because you see football players get frustrated. What do? They take off their helmet, they slam it on the ground, they go sit down, and they fume silently. That's mostly what they do when they get frustrated. Because you know the cameras are there. You know people are watching you. You know that every single move you make is being scrutinized by thousands. And he has no control when he gets frustrated. Now, admittedly, Patrick Mahomes also got frustrated and he threw his helmet, And I get that this is the Super Bowl. I get that this is important to these men. I completely understand the frustration. But you are being watched by millions of people at this point. And not just in the US. I know that a lot of people overseas who subscribe to AFN, Armed Forces Network, watch the game too. And it is, believe it or not, this game is televised on Eurosports, Eurovision, and all of these other channels.
Oh yeah.
Overseas. They don't show American football most of the time and on these channels, but when it comes to the Super Bowl, they'll show that. And so you have this guy coming up to his coach, pushing him and yelling at him, and I'm like, I'm old enough to remember when Tom Landry benched people for doing that, and not even to him, to another player. And I don't understand. I remember when Jimmy Johnson benched what's his name? My favorite, Emmitt Smith. First time ever Emmitt Smith got benched. He was messing up out there, and in frustration, he comes and he yells at the offensive coordinator or whoever it was, and Jimmy told him, "You're benched." And I'm like, but this guy gets away with it? This was beyond rude, and this is indicative of how the sport has become very lax in its own rules when it comes to the players. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I'm just so sick of the whole thing. Kelsey, Taylor, all of it. They keep belching this crap out there. And I've covered this a couple of times in the last few weeks where they're saying, oh, great winners are so obsessed with this. We're the ones obsessed. We're the ones that can't get away from this crap. Every time I log online, I have to look at these two. From you, the media. Everybody's obsessed. It's you some bitches. I mean, last week, NBC News tried to say that both the right-wing pundits are pushing out these theories. No Republican voters are following the story, though. It's like, how can we be obsessed and not buying it at the same time? You got to pick a lane here, partner. Sorry. Like, MAGA Nation is obsessed with this couple, and no Republican voters are buying this crap. It's like, it's the same group. So, sorry. You're contradicting yourself. We don't care about this. If anything, we're sick and tired of it. That's what you're losing your minds. We're not. It's just stop. Little less would be super. They don't seem to recognize this, however. So yeah, we had to see Taylor Swift about a dozen times. I know somebody I know online was probably tabulating how many times they showed her, but by the end of the game, I think it was at least 10, if not a dozen.
No, the thing is, this permeates everything. A friend of mine, she posted a picture to social media saying, "What the hell is this doing on my Kindle?" And what it was,
Yeah.
It was this Swift Bowl 2024. And the complete blurb was, a girl's guide to pro football. Calling all Swifties, this is your playbook for understanding the game like a pro, all while cheering on your favorite team at Swift Bowl 2024. And this was an actual booklet that was
put this
available.
out?
It was on Kindle. It was Amazon. And it was written
So
by a
somebody
woman.
actually wrote a Swifty's Guide to Football.
Yes, a mom to three girls who's a football fan and a big time advocate for girls in sports, you know, and it was described as an empowering companion to dive into the fast-paced action, master the lingo, and celebrate the amazing athletes on the field. You will find the basics from touchdowns to field goals, learn the rules, key positions with clear explanations and fun illustrations. You'll get to meet the stars, the game's most inspiring female athletes, which kind of like, wait, what? Trailblazers, rising talents, blah, 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 blah. Beyond the plays, game day essentials. Prepare with tips on tailgating, dressing up in team colors, recipes to eat like a champ. And, it gives you like trivia questions so that you can impress people, the predictions. I was just like, I get what you're trying to do, but but if you want to empower women, don't call it a Swift Bowl.
Well, this is my whole thing.
The guide to the Super Bowl from a woman's point of view.
Language means nothing. What is empowering about this?
I do not know.
What at all?
But it was targeted to Swifties. Okay.
Well, I get that. It's like, okay, you're learning all about football. You didn't know about it now. You're not empowered with anything. You've just learned something new.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
if I
terrific.
actually study the discography of Taylor Swift that I don't know now, I'm not empowered. Like, I'm a Swiftie now. I'm imbued with power I didn't possess yesterday. Shut up.
I
Empowered.
kid you not. I don't understand. I'm trying to grasp it. What? I can't. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from her. I have to keep emphasizing this. She has done a marvelous job building her empire. She really has. She is a fabulous businesswoman. She is talented. She knows her fan base and she caters to them. So that to me shows a person who really knows their stuff, But there comes a time when you're like, you can get too much of a good thing. I was these people are
laughing
like,
yesterday. There was some journalist was trying to slam conservative America about this, and had a photograph, versions of which we've seen thousands of times. High school quarterback is kissing his cheerleader girlfriend on the field after a game, right? This is an image that America always embraced, but suddenly when it's Kelsey and Taylor Swift, conservatives are losing their mind about it, right?
I'm not losing my mind about
Hypocrites and that. And it's like, okay, take that high school couple and shove them down our throat 3,000 times in a week in the media. And then you're going to start to see a completely different reaction. It's not what they're doing that bothers people. It's what you are doing, you dumbass.
And they don't want to actually look in that mirror because it is them. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not us.
Do you know why I care about Kelsey and Taylor Swift? Because you keep shoving it in my damn face. Okay, if you didn't do that, I wouldn't know about it, and I wouldn't give a rat's ass about it.
It's at the point that we are being made to care about this. And if we don't care, then we're hostile to them. And I'm like, no, I just don't care. I honestly don't care. Now, I did tell you, my daughter and her friend raised for what seems to me a true concern about their relationship. Here's a man that has absolutely no issues letting go of his anger towards people on the field. And he's dating this young woman. And, one of the girls in that particular thread, my daughter's friend, was saying, well, this is a big red flag. She is a young woman who was in an abusive relationship. She got out of it. She volunteers at crisis center. She knows, she has firsthand experience with domestic abuse. And she was saying, I see him acting that way. And it worries me. Everybody says, oh, they're so cute together. But this is a big red flag and people are missing it. And, I told her, I was like, yeah, it's true. Some of us, like me, who made that meme, she's going to write a song about me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the only one, but I was pretty proud of it. Anyway, I said that I may have been making fun, but the fact remains is that there is a big element of truth to that. She is that powerful. All she has to do is write a song about it, and she can destroy his entire reputation. And burn that bridge down. Her power is subtle, but it's there.
I'm renaming my dog.
Yeah, and the thing is, but you don't want her in a position where she might get hurt, where he might lash out at her either. But so it is a concern. It's a viable concern when you see somebody acting that way in front of millions of people, and then what's to stop him from acting that way privately against someone who upsets him? There is nothing to stop him. So, it for me, now that I see it from that point of view, I'm like, oh yeah, girl, get out. But she's 34. She can date whoever she wants to. That's up to her. I don't,
Yeah, it's may or may not be the case. And honestly, I don't really care. I just, I mean, as much as I cover Hollywood, I don't really give a damn about the celebrity side of things. This falls right in that. Like, how do you not know who he's dating?
I
couldn't give a crap.
not.
Don't give a crap.
Yeah, when, like I said, when somebody told me that Taylor Swift was now dating a football player, I was like, why? And they said, oh, well, I guess they just met through a podcast. No, why are you telling me? I don't care. And my sister was so mad. She was really upset with me. And I'm like, no, I have no idea. Why do you think I care? I don't care who's dating who. That's their business. I was like, but don't you? And she was like, don't you understand? There's going to be a song. And I'm like, no, there's not going to be a song. And here's why. The guy she dated before Kelsey, most people don't even know. And they lasted for 5 years. I think that was her longest relationship. She didn't write a song about him. It was very amicable, and it was, that kind of thing. But the thing is, he kept out of the limelight. Nobody even knew who this guy was. I mean, and he's famous. I just don't remember his name. He's just, yeah, we dated, but I mean, we kept it to ourselves. He was very adamant about keeping things private. And that was fine. This is like so in your face that it can only end up one of two ways. They get married. It's a big brouhaha. It's kind of like Mariah Carey and Tony Mottola when she first got married, that marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. It's like
a business
overblown and everything. 2 years later, it falls apart. So that's where I think this might be headed. Because
I saw last night
and he can't split up with her until after he retires. That's a given.
Okay.
No, if there's a split up before then, it's coming from her side, not his. He can't afford the bad publicity. So it's got to be after. If he splits up with her, it's got to be after he retires.
Well, I kind of think he's in good shape. He's probably a lock for the Hall of Fame. He's got 3 Super Bowls. I mean, he's not going to suffer all that much. But
no, not really.
But maybe as far as endorsement deals down the road, yeah, that could impact him. I saw last night a curious headline talk about Super Bowl desperation. This is the headline guaranteed to get me to not click on your article. The story behind why Harry and Meghan did not attend the Super Bowl.
Because they can't afford it? I don't know. Who
didn't
cares?
even have any interest in clicking. It's like, the fuck is
Why
it?
would they even go?
What? It's like, who is this vested in what these two idiots are doing? That, well, did they go? They didn't go. Why not? I need to find out. Why didn't they go? Oh my God. If you have any spark of curiosity about their lack of attending the Super Bowl, get help. Just my little, I like that. Instead of cursing your darkness, I'm trying to light a candle for you. So yeah, don't give a crap about Prince Hank and his wife, okay? It's not. But on the subject of commercials, I saw something in the pregame of interest. Did you catch the Joe Biden video Sunday morning?
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
Now,
Yeah.
bear in mind, we are hot on the heels of the enraging controversy that has swept over the nation about whether or not Joe Biden is old. This kills me. This absolutely slays me that in a special counsel report, they were like, yeah, the guy's kind of old and had trouble answering questions. The press is losing their collective freaking minds over this. And the thing is, Robert Hur did everybody a favor on the Democrats and the press side and said, we're not going to prosecute him. Woo! Yeah. The guy's a doddering coot that can't stand trial. How dare he?
Exactly. This is what I don't understand. He literally gave you a way out.
This is good news, folks.
Because there were only two options in this case. It was literally a case of the princess and the tiger. You remember that story? There were two options. Either he is senile and doesn't remember anything, or he's complicit and needs to be held accountable for his crimes. Which one would you rather have?
You're arguing for him to take the stand and be indicted, you idiots. This is how desperate it got. When that report came out on Thursday, that evening, they, of course, that's when they spit Joe Biden out there. All right, go out there and give a press conference and prove to him you're not senile. Well, that went over fabulous, didn't it?
Oh, boy.
Said the president of Egypt was the president of Mexico. And my favorite part that everybody overlooked was when he was getting pissed off about asking questions about Beau Biden. How dare he bring up my son? It's like, hey, dude, you don't shut up about him. How do you not think that's going to be pertinent? So, can you tell us when Beau died? That's what happened in the interview. And MSNBC, they've lost their shit over this. Now, Biden said, let me tell you something. I have in my pocket a rosary from our mother of...
Our mother.
Mother...
Our Lady of Baskin Robbins.
Buffering. And never gave the answer yet. Baskin Robbins was sweet on your part there.
Thank you.
Our mother of the thing, and stuffed with the rosary prayer beads stuffed. So how dare he? So yeah, he completely crapped the bed on that whole thing. So on MSNBC, they were so desperate they had every single one of their primetime hosts on a panel to analyze this and tell us how dare this man. Blah, 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 blah. Lawrence O'Donnell said he called him elderly. What is that doing in this report?
I don't know. It's doing fine as far as I'm concerned.
Larry, the guy's 81. Kind of the definition of elderly right there. 81, dude.
You remember, I know you remember this because, we were around when Bob Dole was running for president, and Time Magazine actually had an issue where they were questioning if he was too old at the age of 72. 72.
Biden's got 9 years on Bob Dole at the time. How dare Bob Dole run for president at this age?
I'm just like, you've got to be shitting me. What has changed? Oh, the narrative.
I mean, it's like they're actually pissed off that he called him elderly. And there's now the thing going around is neurologist. Robert Hur is not a neurologist.
Well, they are right. However, it
Okay,
didn't stop them
he
from
wasn't.
diagnosing Trump either.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about his synapses. He just said he's old and forgetful. How does he know this? He asked him questions and the guy forgot stuff. I mean, you don't need to be board
No.
certified brain surgeon to see this stuff. The guy didn't know when he was vice president.
All Robert Hurt did was ask questions and copy down the answers or lack thereof. That's all he did. You don't need a neurologist to do this. You need somebody that's asking questions and writing down the answers. That's all he did.
I think one of the questions he asked Joe Biden was like, okay, so did you possess these documents in 2013? And then Joe Biden said, was I vice president back then?
And this is a man that has been serving in government, if you can call it serving, for what, nearing now almost 6 decades? 5.5 decades?
But I mean, it's
how does he not remember when he was vice president?
Kind of a significant entry in your resume or when you were president. Okay? I mean, it just wasn't that long ago to begin with, and usually those years would jump out at you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Trump was elected in 2016. Before that was you. Okay, so there you go, Joe. Just to help you, I'm pointing you out in the direction. I don't even know what his name is. One of the comedians was watching a stand-up last week, and they described it perfectly. He said it's kind of funny how at the end of every speech he turns into a Roomba. He just kind of,
oh my word, he does.
Just kind of like,
oh my God.
He did it last night. He was, what is it, King of Jordan or somebody was at the White House and introduced him. And he couldn't just like take one step to the side and give him the podium. He's like turning around and then walking behind him and he's circling to the left and then back to the right. And
it was, I believe the king actually told him, he said, "Oh, over here, so you can stand next to me."
Yeah, it's like
before he started speaking.
I don't work here, but I think that's your spine.
It's just he rambles.
It's almost like when you go to McDonald's and you meet a kid there for the first day. It's like, no, see, you put it in this way, and then you hit send, and then they'll make it to the back. There you go. Okay.
Pretty much it. I was a Roomba. Oh my word! I'm going to tell my sisters this.
Oh yes, by all means. You can use the joke I stole from somebody else by all means. My gosh. But here's where things get really funny for me. So a week ago, White House comes out with the announcement. Joe Biden will not be doing the annual Super Bowl interview with CBS News. Now, he waved it off last year, and they could pass it off as like, well, that's Fox News, and they suck, and we're not going to recognize them as a news organization. We're not doing an interview with Fox. And then the press is like, no, yeah, you're right. Fake news, good idea, great.
Fake news. Mm-hmm.
This year, when they waved it off, everybody's like, they like you, though, Joe. I mean, if it's in the Touch Bennington or Nora O'Donnell, or they're gonna give you probably an even hand. How about this? You can even dictate who can interview you. Gail King. There you go. You want to talk about a layup softball bootlicking interview? It'll be that. What's your favorite potato chip, Mr. President? That'll be.
I would have given anything for him to have been interviewed by Zach Galifianakis. I would have given anything. That would have been glorious.
That'll be, that it would be difficult for Zach. Because the whole premise there is to sound ridiculous in the interview. He'd have to be more ridiculous than Biden somehow.
It's in competition.
So, this takes place, and everybody pretty much said the same thing. It's like, oh boy, they do not want this guy. This is a president suffering in the polls right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's trailing Trump in just about every single poll. Free advertising to 100 million voters, just America alone. Nah. So everybody was like, wow, he must be bad. And we found out later in the week, yeah, it's bad. But the excuse given by the White House was this: we want to give the American voters a break because we suspect they're going through political fatigue and we don't want to impugn their enjoyment of the big game with politics.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, so you're doing it for our benefit. That's just, thank you, White House. Thank you so. And then Sunday morning comes out Joe Biden with a political video regarding the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
This is Joe Biden here. It's just Super Bowl, big. First off, they had to say big games. Like, what, are you worried about Goodell suing the White House because you said Super Bowl and you're not an official sponsor? You're watching the big game, and if you're anything like I do and you watch big games, because big games are important to me, you like to have the snacks, the potato chips, and the ice creams and stuff. Did you notice that the packages are getting smaller? They're getting smaller.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be a pint and a half of ice cream, and now it's a pint and a quarter. They're charging the same price for this, and they think they're playing us for suckers. You see, and we're sick and tired of it, and that's going on there. These big corporations are doing this. You see, so it's a potato chip bag smaller. This is what cracked me up. 45-second video that he just got. He's sitting in like the movie theater in the White
A
House.
movie theater, yeah.
This thing I counted 15 edits.
Yeah, there were quite a few, weren't there?
How many times do you
tell.
think they had to film this thing before he got that act correct?
And
Okay, Joe, just bitch about snacks for 45 seconds. Can you do that for us, Joe? Can you complain about the size of the snacks? 45 seconds, go. Yes, it says, do I open the bags? Do I get any? Cut. No, Joe, we were just complaining about the size of the bag. Ice cream is smaller. Oh, it's ice cream. Yes, I like the big game ice cream, Super Bowl. Can I get a super scoop cut? 45 seconds, 15 minutes. And he's complaining about his own inflation. Did you notice the package? Smaller
yeah,
packages.
it's smaller, and
They're big, same price, and sometimes even higher.
they're blaming the corporations. And the thing is, this didn't start. This started a while back. As a matter of fact, one of my mutuals on Twitter, she posted a screenshot from USA Today. The date was June 14th, 2008. And, you know, the thing was, you know, there's a reason why the tub of ice cream you bought last week looks a tad smaller than the ones you bought last summer. And that's because it is. Yeah, it's been going on. And admittedly, you know, that started when the big recession hit, you know, in 2008 and everything. But it continued. Those sizes didn't revert back.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus, it has accelerated over the last few years.
Yeah, and I know maybe some people don't eat this particular candy. I grew up with it. It's the chocolate covered cherries, you know, with that little nougat inside. That little box, Moncherie, I think it's called, or whatever. It used to be when I was younger, my parents would buy one of those boxes, and whenever we, the four girls, did something cool or good or whatever, we got treated with one of those. There were enough in there. There were the top pallet was 8 and the bottom pallet was 8, so there were 16 in that box. I bought one this past Christmas, just out of sentimental, you know. It was like, oh, I remember these, and I opened it. There's 10, 5 on top, 5 on bottom. This isn't new. This has been going on for a long time. And for him, it's very disingenuous for him to say that this is the corporation's fault when it truly is the economy's fault. And who's driving it? It's this administration.
Well, that's the thing is, just break down the claim.
Mm-hmm.
Corporations are doing this. Okay, well, that means all the companies within whatever product line is involved are doing this in a collusive manner. So all the nacho chip companies are in this. They held a secret trilateral
Yeah,
commission
all of
meeting.
the competitors are in on it.
All it would
It's all
take is
one
for
big
one of them
cabal.
to break. All one of them has to do is sell a regular price, regular size, and everybody would flood to that, and the market would correct, and the competition would go back to that size, and if that's what was taking place. What's taking place is they can't afford this crap at the same levels they used to because of inflation and supply chain and gas prices and everything else impacting food, because it all impacts food, because all of it is involved in getting food to the grocery store.
I make my own potato chips now because it's kind of therapeutic, to slice them like that and everything. But it's cheaper for me to actually buy a bag of potatoes and make a ton of potato chips compared to Frito-Lay's
The
or
only
whatever.
thing I've seen make a price adjustment back down in the last few years has been milk and eggs to a degree.
Mhm.
I mean, for a time, milk here was like $5 a gallon, and eggs were about $4.50 a dozen. I could probably now get a gallon of milk for about $3, and eggs have started to come back to normal levels, depending on where you shop, of course.
We
But
didn't have that big of an issue here in East Texas simply because there's so many egg farmers around here, independent people that just sell them.
that's what I'm saying. It's like supply and demand is also
So
impacted by location too. So you're going to
yeah,
get that.
so you'd go to Dallas, you were paying $7 a dozen, but out here it was half that, because I got it from Linda down the street who has chickens. So it just
But that's
depends.
for him to sit there and bark about it. And then they go ahead and stick politics into the Super Bowl after all. And it just and the manner in which they had to have a controlled environment,
It was extremely
control the
controlled.
display, everything. It was scripted, hardcore, and everything else. It's just evident anymore. And
Well, compare that to the ad they put out. I think it was yesterday. I want to say it was the one with the uh, African American family eating, that he brought them fried chicken and he stopped for a hamburger for himself. And I'm like, are you that tone deaf? First of all, there is absolutely nothing wrong with fried chicken. I enjoy it very, very much. But come on, I mean, and the takeout boxes. And I'm like, that is not. I'm like, I don't know what the message that we're trying to give. Although I gotta say, the family was kind of nice. I mean, they looked like they had a healthy family dynamic. But I mean, that whole message was so tone deaf.
yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this. I mean, the family may have agreed to this. It might have even been their choice. Like, let's have some fried chicken. We eat that all once a week in our house or something. Great. Here's the thing, though. It's the Democrats that have made that an issue. We've talked about it on this show all the time. It's like calling food racist is the dumbest damn thing you could do. But guess who's doing it? Biden's people. So if you imply, if you show a black family eating fried chicken, you are racist. Unless you're Joe Biden. Is that the way it works? Because I was told that's racist. I mean, the only thing worse is watermelon.
I was expecting somebody to come in with watermelon, grape soda, you name it. I mean, seriously, it was that bad. It was awful.
But this is what's so stupid about it. It's like make watermelon safe again. Let black people eat watermelon without it being an issue. How about that? I mean, it's so ridiculous.
It has gotten that bad, and I don't know what the purpose of that ad was. There is no way you can make this man normal, everyday part of the people. He's not. He has shown everybody that he is above the little people in everything that he does.
Well, and
that man, he has taken over 360 days of vacation in just 3 years of service.
One third of his, or I think 1/4 of his time in office has been on vacation.
I
Which
mean,
I
I
recall being a problem when it's a Republican.
yeah, I was, when he hit 100 days, I was like, what, I remember when my uncle suffered from dementia, and it was very important that he be around things that he remembered. So my aunt went out of her way to make sure that he came to his hometown and he hung out at his brother's house, which was their parents' house before they passed away, at least once every 2 weeks or something like that. So when I found out that President Biden always went to the house in Wilmington, every weekend, I was like, this is a red flag. Nobody sees this, because that's what popped into my head, that they go to a familiar place all the time for him. So, because you'll notice his vacation was not all over the world. He wasn't going to every place at least not even stateside. He was going to one place over and over and over and over again, most of the time. So I posted that, and some never Trumper came after me, and I'm like, whose side are you on?
Well, this is what's so telling is that since Thursday, the last 5 days, I have watched this never-ending string of Democrat politicians and journalists coming out. Oh, Joe Biden's the sharpest thing ever. This guy is on point. That you've never seen a man. If you talk to him, he's so engaged and takes control and asks for details. Every single person is saying this except Joe Biden himself.
Yeah, I want proof of it. I want to see him doing that.
We have everybody insisting how sharp this guy's mind is. Put it on display. Oh, wait, Thursday night he gives a speech.
Yes,
that was a complete bus wreck.
Complete, total train wreck. Right there.
I mean, Jon Stewart made his return to the Daily Show last night.
Yes, he did.
Which kind of is an indication of the thing. Because I've been watching this too since. It's kind of funny. Trevor Noah left. It was a little over a year ago. I think it was like November 22 when he stepped away. Mm-hmm. And in all that time, they've just had this revolving door of guests. Desk. Nobody has ever taken control of the show. To the point they were like, all right, we got to get John back. Well, thankfully, John just got fired by Apple TV a month or two ago because he dared be critical of China. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, and this is a guy who has always been liberal. He's always had liberal leanings. He's never hidden that.
Right.
But he's funny. He does.
Well, I'll give him credit to this degree. He thinks out his arguments. He's not like Jimmy Kimmel's like Donald Trump, piss tape, sex. I hate the guy. Rah rah rah, shaking my fist. Jon Stewart will give you actually reasoned criticisms. So to that point, I'll be okay. But he's also hilarious. He's also on point a lot of the times.
Sorry, my dog is going insane.
I understand.
Hear it.
So last night it comes back for the first time, and he talks about how Joe Biden and Donald Trump are both old. And says very direct and fact-based things, such as both guys running would set a record for the oldest person to run, beating the record of the last time they were in for president together. So 4 years ago, they set the record for being the oldest guys to run for presidency. And now they're still doing it. So they're old, in other words. And the left is losing their mind. What happened to Jon Stewart? How dare he? I didn't even see him say anything really critical of Joe Biden beyond the fact that he's old. I mean, he leaned into Donald Trump, and this guy getting indicted, and there's such thing, and Joe Biden is just old. And they could not tolerate that. How dare he speak the facts? I mean, this is how desperate and scared they are. that anything critical, even if it's completely 100% accurate of Joe Biden, is unacceptable.
Well, I unfortunately have to take a break really quick. I have somebody at the door.
Oh, okay then.
So you can keep talking. I'll be right back.
Oh, all right then. I'll fill in blanks, I suppose.
Okay.
So yeah, this is what is going on anymore. That if anybody dares point out what is what is completely accurate with Joe Biden, unacceptable. And I touched on this in my podcast over at Red State too. But the desperation is very, very evident in areas you might not expect it to be, but makes perfect sense once you hear about it. And that is in the Never Trump universe. Bill Kristol came out and said, and this is after that fiasco of a speech that he gave Thursday night. Bill Kristol actually said, I was up until 3 a.m. Googling what all of the options are for the Democrat Party as far as replacing him on the ticket, what's going to happen at the convention, who else we can get as far as replacing Joe Biden. This is where they're at. And then he interviews James Carville to talk about all of the people on the Democrat side that could possibly replace Joe Biden. So they're this desperate. And
Well, how
if
many?
anybody points out these details, they lose their mind because basically the Democrats recognize this, but they don't want the word to get out, I guess.
How many people did he run through?
Oh, he came up with, he's trying to, like Carville tried to say that right now, the Democrats, as partisan as they are, have a great field. He's trying to say this is the best political field he's ever seen, maybe since the 1980 Republicans. So
Wow.
what the hell are you talking about, James?
Is he
mentions Governor Whitmer, Raphael Warnock, Gavin Newsom.
No. Although everybody is angling for Newsom.
I'm laughing at each one of his entries. Oh, this guy here, he's just like, never saw a politician with this skill set before. Fantastic guy. Oh, my God. Makes Reagan look like a pisser. What the hell, James? Look, I understand you guys are just in panic mode, but come on. You're telling me Raphael Warnock is one of the high flyers in the Democrat Party? Wow. Oh,
I think one of my favorite things since the Her report came out and everything has been how everybody commenting on it is saying that the media is on the side of the Republicans. And, you know, the media is in the tank for the Republicans. That's why they're targeting. This is why the Her report came out and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I'm going, I'm sorry. I don't make that connection.
This is the thing they do as well, though. Because they always bring up how Robert Hur was appointed during the Trump administration. Okay, this is as tangential a connection as they can come up with. Robert Hur was part of the Robert Mueller investigation looking into Donald Trump. Okay. They make it sound like this guy goes out to Mar-a-Lago every weekend for bingo and golf. No, this guy investigated Trump, you dipshits. And it's like, oh man, this is exactly like Comey and Hillary. Once again, Robert Hur. It's like, oh, you mean the James Comey that investigated Hillary and never pressed charges? Yeah, it's exactly the same as that. Because Comey found all kinds of dirt on Hillary that's prosecutable, and we're not going to do it. Robert Hur. Oh, there's a lot in here, but let's see. I don't want to he's senile. Can't prosecute him. There you go. You're welcome. You bastard. So now Robert Hur is the Trump guy, according to them. Freaking amazing. But I saw John Carl pull this trick on Sunday. Right? He's got 2 former administration lawyers on the show to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
One served as special counsel under Donald Trump as a spokesperson. The other served as U.S. attorney. I'm sorry, John. You're talking about Patrick Bahara? Him? Yeah, he was a U.S. attorney under Obama,
Yeah.
but we don't mention that somehow. So the Trump acolyte gets noted as Trump. Bahara, he was a lawyer, and I think did you live in D.C.? Yeah, he was a D.C. lawyer. There you go. That's all he was.
Yeah, yeah. But that they skipped the Obama part.
It's just hilarious how they try to get away with this bullshit. And so yeah, so Robert Hur now is a Republican Donald Trump plant. Got it. Even though he did you a favor, he's evil and corrupt. Okay. Well, we're just about done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I will probably close with this though.
Hmm.
On the topic of Super Bowls.
Okay.
Apparently, this new VR helmet from Apple is all the rage. You seen the videos of the people?
I
That are like,
have, and I'll never
walking around in public and like typing and swiping as they walk down a sidewalk. Kind of crap.
I just don't get it. I see it as a huge.
We're like in the Wall-E era.
Yes.
We're getting closer and closer to that being reality. With virtual
Everybody's
reality.
gonna be on scooters drinking milkshakes.
Yeah, we'll throw it up in chat here. Some guy has one of these and showed the magnificence of what a VR mask can do for you when you go take a dump in the bathroom.
No.
So like it comes in and where his shower door is at now becomes a screen. And you can sit there and conduct business while you're doing your business, I guess.
Oh God.
No, we don't.
No. I don't.
No.
I honestly, was.
This has Jeffrey Toobin written all over it.
Yes, exactly. I was in a public restroom and I went in to wash my hands, and there was a lady in one of those stalls, and she's talking on the phone while she's doing her business. And I'm just like, I walked back out. I was like, no, I cannot deal with this. Why do
back
people
when I
do
was
this?
in the office, I would go through this on occasion. I'm talking to somebody and like I can hear an echo. I was like, what is this? And all of a sudden I actually hear the toilet flush and they're in mid conversation with me about their product or something. It's like,
no.
thank you for that visual in the midst of our professional conversation. But now they're doing this with Veep.
I see this as being kind of dangerous, not just virtually, but physically. I mean, people are like swiping and doing things while they're walking in the middle of the street somewhere. They're not going to be paying attention to vehicles. They're not going to be paying attention to other people. They're not going to be paying attention at all, except to what's in the visual thing.
They still have their field of vision. They can still see what's going on. There's just other stuff.
Yeah, but people are goldfish, and they're going to
know.
they cannot concentrate on more than one thing at a time. No matter that some people are multitaskers. I'll give them
somebody
that.
was recording a dumbass. He's like on the subway. Like he's about 18 with one of these asshole helmets on, and he's sitting there typing and swiping while sitting in his seat. Your life is just completely empty. But then it dawns on me: this guy has a phone, and he's recording this guy on his VR.
On his phone, yeah. I'm like, there's somebody recording this, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, this is just we're devolving right before our eyes. But now I did not need to. It's not a selling point that this is something you can do while taking a crap.
Nope.
Oh, you can do spreadsheets, or you can just try not to say spread in the bathroom.
Spread in the
Thank
same.
you.
No.
I don't need this. Okay.
And with that, I think we can close out the show. So, Brad, take a deep breath and tell us where we can find you.
Well, I'm available on a daily basis over at townhall.com with my column Rift from the Headlines, where I analyze the media mayhem on a daily basis. Also a regular feature on the front page of Red State, where I also have my twice weekly podcasts, Liable Sources, where I go into even further detail with the press corps and their dysfunctions. You can also hear me on this very network a little bit more. Thursday evening, I'm going to be here with Paul Young from ScreenRant.com. He and I will be guiding you through the the dark side of Hollywood and bad movies, on disasters in the making. We have a little bit of a holiday-specific choice this week. I'll just hint you there. Alternate Thursdays, I'm here with Ordy Packard. He and I will guide you through all of the important entertainment information on the culture shift. And then, of course, every Tuesday evening with the ever-effervescent Aggie Reekin at 8.5 here on the Cocktail Lounge. And then if you need more of me than that, let's face it, you do. You head over to Jitter. I am at Martini Shark. How about yourself, Aggie? Where can people find more of your magnificence?
Well, you can find me at Aggie Reekin and at Aggie the Barkeep. Those are over on X. You can also find me 8:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday nights doing the Cocktail Lounge with the ever suave you. Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern as well, doing He Said, She Said of late with our great producer, Rick. Once a month, last Wednesday of every month, 8 p.m. Eastern, the guys get together, and by the guys, I mean G, Ordy, Andrew, and Rick, and myself for Toxic Masculinity. And Jeff and I have teamed up and now have a new podcast called Spirited Books, which is it's every second Monday, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We had to preempt ours. It was supposed to be yesterday, but we are conducting it 1 week later. So stay tuned for that next week. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you have a lovely evening.
Go raise a glass and look at the ceiling.